Have you ever heard of a town that just vanished? Not destroyed by a disaster, not slowly abandoned over time, but completely erased from existence, almost overnight. This isn't just a campfire story. This is the unsettling mystery of a place some call Dervil, the town that forgot its own name. Our story begins in 1963, deep in the vast remote wilderness of northern Canada. Imagine a small mining community, home to about 600 people. A quiet, isolated place, wrapped in forests and buried under snow for much of the year. Life was simple, predictable, until it wasn't. One day, government surveyors on a routine mapping mission were stumped. They were looking for this town, but it was gone. Not just hard to find, it wasn't on their maps. The coordinates led to an empty stretch of wilderness. The roads that were supposed to lead there just ended, swallowed by the forest. Puzzled, they started asking people in nearby settlements. The response was unnervingly consistent, a chorus of confusion. A town there? No, they'd say. There's never been a town in that area. It was as if the place had been wiped, not just from the landscape, but from collective memory. But one person remembered, or at least, he held a piece of proof that it wasn't all a dream. An old postman, sorting through his mail, found a single, undeliverable letter. The address was clear: Dervil, a name that didn't exist on any official map. Not then, and not now. This single letter was the first thread in a mystery that would unravel everything we think we know about memory, place, and reality itself. What happened to the 600 souls of Dervil? And why did the world forget them? The beginning of the end came silently, in the dead of night. It was around 3 a.m. on March 9th, 1963. The town's telephone operator lines, the only connection to the outside world, suddenly went dead. Just static. By morning, the telegraph office couldn't get a signal through either. Total radio silence. Coincidentally, or perhaps not, a brutal snowstorm hit the region that very night. The kind that makes travel impossible and isolates entire communities for days. So, no one sent help right away. It was just another northern town, cut off by the weather. Or so everyone thought. When the storm finally broke and rescue teams could make their way through the snow-choked roads, they arrived to find nothing. And I don't mean rubble or ruins. I mean nothing was wrong. The town was perfectly intact. Every building stood just as it had been left. Inside the houses, lights were still on. On kitchen tables, breakfasts were half-eaten, coffee still warm in some mugs. A radio in one of the homes was still playing, a soft, hissing static. It was as if every single person in Dervil had, in the same instant, simply stood up and walked away. No cars were missing, no luggage was packed. It was a mass disappearance on an impossible scale. But that wasn't even the strangest part. The rescue teams noticed something deeply unsettling. In every single house, in every building, every mirror, every window, every piece of glass, any reflective surface had been shattered. Not cracked, but exploded outward into thousands of tiny pieces. What could cause such a specific, bizarre phenomenon? Almost immediately, the government descended on the area. The official line was safety concerns due to unstable geological activity. They sealed off the entire region, turning away anyone who got close. Investigators took photographs, hundreds of them, documenting the eerie scene. But when they developed the film, something was wrong. The images were distorted, corrupted. Entire sections of the photos were blank, pure white or solid black, as if the cameras themselves couldn't fully capture what was there. It was as if parts of the town were refusing to be recorded, literally resisting being remembered. One scientist on the investigation team, a Dr. Halloran, had a fringe theory he couldn't prove. He claimed his instruments detected a massive spike in the magnetic field around the Dervil site, higher than anything recorded in the region. He didn't describe it as a physical event, but as what he called a memory anomaly. He wrote in his private notes, "It's not that the town is gone. It's that reality itself is being rewritten to exclude it, like a glitch in the fabric of the past. His theory was dismissed as nonsense. Within a year, all official documentation related to the Dervil incident vanished from government archives. Census records were altered, with the name Dervil completely redacted. Every investigator, scientist, and officer involved in the initial case was either quietly transferred to a remote post or took an early retirement. The story was buried. Officially, Dervil never existed. For decades, the story of the vanished town survived only as a whisper, a ghost story told by long-haul truckers and bush pilots who flew over the vast, empty north. A local legend about a place that memory forgot. It seemed destined to fade away completely. Until 2004. In the early days of publicly accessible satellite imagery, a strange photo surfaced on an obscure internet forum. The image showed a remote, snow-covered clearing in northern Canada. And in that clearing, a faint but unmistakable grid of roads and foundations, perfectly matching the supposed layout of Dervil. The coordinates were a match. The forgotten town, it seemed, was still there, visible only from space. Excitement rippled through the small community of people who followed the legend. A private survey team chartered a plane and flew over the exact coordinates, hoping to finally get definitive proof. But when they arrived, they found nothing. Just an empty clearing in the forest, covered in undisturbed snow. No roads, no foundations, no sign that a town had ever been there. It was gone. Again. But there was a twist. The original poster of the satellite image pointed out something everyone had missed. In the corner of the grainy photo, barely visible, was a shape. When enhanced, it was revealed to be a billboard standing at the edge of the phantom town. The words on it were faint but legible. They read, "Welcome back to Dervil." No one has ever been able to find that sign since. The satellite image itself was dismissed as a glitch, a digital artifact. But for those who knew the story, it felt like something else entirely. So what really happened? The theories are as strange as the event itself. Some believe Dervil was the site of a secret Cold War experiment, a test of advanced psychological warfare, perhaps using specific sound frequencies or mass hypnosis to literally make people forget a place existed. The shattered glass could have been a side effect of a powerful sonic weapon. Others look to a more geological, almost paranormal explanation. They point to Dr. Halloran's memory anomaly theory, suggesting some unique magnetic resonance in the area can directly affect human consciousness and perception, making the town phase in and out of our reality. But there's one detail that continues to surface, passed down through local lore. People who brave the journey to the site today, to that empty clearing in the woods, report strange experiences. They talk about hearing whispers on the wind when there's no one around. The whispers, they say, are names that don't appear in any official birth or death records anywhere in Canada. One hiker who camped near the site a few years ago claimed he saw lights in the distance at night, flickering on and off like house lights in a place where there is absolutely nothing. He managed to snap a photo with his phone before the lights vanished. Later, when he looked at the picture, the lights weren't there. The photo was mostly dark, except for one object that was unnervingly clear. A single weathered street sign sticking out of the snow. The text on it read, "You were here." To this day, there is no official trace of Dervil. No documents, no descendants who have come forward, nothing. But every few years, pilots and satellite data analysts report strange glitches around those same coordinates. A flicker of data, a shadow on the landscape that shouldn't be there. As if something is trying to push its way back into our world. It leads to a chilling final thought. Maybe the town of Dervil never truly disappeared. Maybe we did. Maybe our reality shifted, and we were the ones who were erased from its memory. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoy diving into mysteries like this, Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next exploration. What do you think happened to Dervil? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.